Leroy Sane and Gabriel Jesus combine as Man City respond to Chelsea setback. Manchester City bounced back from defeat to Chelsea last weekend to beat Everton 3-1 at the Etihad and move ahead of Liverpool at the top of the Premier League table. Gabriel Jesus ended his drought in front of goal to score twice to put City 2-0 up before a Dominic Calvert-Lewin header on 65 minutes brought Everton back into it. It proved to be a short-lived respite, however, as substitute Raheem Sterling came off the bench to restore City's two-goal advantage just 4 minutes later. Here are the talking points. Star man, Gabriel Jesus. Guardiola insisted his decision to use Raheem Sterling as a central striker against Chelsea was a purely tactical move. Be that as it may, his decision was made easier by Jesus' goal drought in the league, which stretched all the way back to a 6-1 win over Huddersfield in August. Jesus was recalled for the midweek win over Hoffenheim and kept his place against Everton despite missing a gilt-edged chance in Germany. It was good management from Guardiola, and he was rewarded for his show of faith in the Brazilian with a match-winning performance. With a fit again Sergio Aguero back in City's matchday squad, the pressure was on Jesus to deliver the goods, and he certainly accepted the gauntlet laid down to him by the Argentine with a couple of predatory penalty box finishes. 11. Gabriel Jesus' goal was his first in the Premier League since August, ending a run of 11 games, 487 minutes and 18 shots without one. Redemption. #mkeeve.twitter.com/HNPV2Cakefo, Optajoe, @Optajoe, December 15, 2018. The first was the kind of finish you'd expect from a striker in red-hot form, rather than one without a goal in 4 months, as he instinctively finished from a tight angle on his weaker left foot after being picked out by a through ball from Sane. The second was a bullet header that flew past Pickford, again from a Sane assist. He even had the ball in the net a third time, sandwiched in between his first and second goals, lashing a right-footed shot into the top corner towards the end of the first half, only to see it correctly chalked off due to an offside. It would have been a perfect hat-trick of finishes. With Aguero back to fitness and Jesus back amongst the goals, Guardiola has excellent competition for places up front once more. Weak link, Yerry Mina. Everton's desire to play out from the back against City was evident from the very start of the game, with Jordan Pickford distributing the ball short at any opportunity, presumably in an effort to bypass the City press and counter-attack through their pacey front three. There was nothing wrong with the idea, but there was plenty wrong with the execution. In the opening minutes it looked as if Everton could be the architects of their own downfall when Gylfi Sigurdsson was dispossessed in his own third after being picked out by his goalkeeper. City didn't punish Everton on that occasion, but they did shortly afterwards. Yerry Mina might have joined the Toffees from Barcelona, but he's not exactly the quintessential ball-playing defender that you'd expect of someone with Barca on their CV. A giant of a man, Mina's strengths are his aerial prowess and ability one-on-one. That was made abundantly clear when on 21 minutes, after receiving a square ball from Pickford, the Colombian launched a nameless, looping punt into the grey Manchester sky and onto the toe of Ilkay Gundogan. A few seconds later the ball was in the net after Gundogan picked out Sane, who slid in Jesus for the opener. To compound his initial mistake, Mina then committed the cardinal sin of playing Jesus onside after failing to push up quickly enough following his loss of possession. When given time on the ball, Mina is a decent distributor. An 86% pass accuracy rate this season shows that, but he really struggled to cope when City's attackers pressed him. There were also question marks for his positioning in City's second and third goals. Firstly, not being tight enough to Jesus, and secondly getting caught under the ball for Sterling's header. A bad day all round. What surprised us? Everton set up for the first time in his Everton tenure. Marco Silva deviated away from a flat back four and named a three-man defence for the trip to the Etihad, with Kurt Zouma, Michael Keane and Mina starting ahead of Pickford. By crowbarring an additional central defender into his side, Silva was paying a huge compliment to City in the quality of their attack, yet it didn't seem to suit some of his players, including Mina, who struggled as a right-footed centre-back playing on the left. It was also surprising that he didn't opt to replace Idrissa Gueye, who missed out through injury, with a like-minded midfield screener like Morgan Schneiderlin as the Frenchman was named on the bench. Instead, André Gomes and Gylfi Sigurdsson lined up as a lightweight midfield pairing. Both Gomes and Sigurdsson have caught the eye in recent weeks, yet asking two offensively-minded midfield players to stifle City's midfield three looked a thankless task before the game had even started and became apparent after kickoff as Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan wandered into space at will. Between them, Gomes and Sigurdsson won only 2 tackles during the game, highlighting how difficult they found it to stem City's flow through the middle. Everton created plenty of good opportunities and troubled City defensively, but they were too easily picked off in midfield. What didn't surprise us? Leroy Sane continuing his fine form. Sterling won the Premier League Player of the Month award for November, but another of City's attacking flyers could be the recipient of the award for December if Sane is able to maintain his current form throughout the festive period. Sane's 2 assists for Jesus took his direct goal involvement in his last 15 Premier League and Champions League games to 16, 8 goals, 8 assists. The weight and quality of Sane's passes meant that Jesus was able to take both of his finishes first time. There has been no stopping Sane of late, and it was somewhat telling that Silva's first substitution was to withdraw his right wing-back and captain Seamus Coleman after the Irishman had been given the runaround by Sane's pace and movement. Sane didn't look to be particularly happy at coming for Sterling late on, yet the fact he was withdrawn with 25 minutes to play demonstrates how important he is to Guardiola right now. Be it through goals or assists, Sane is providing match-winning moments on a game-by-game basis. Paul Merson destroys Manchester United summer signing Fred. What does he do? Fulham in January move for out-of-favour Chelsea centre-back Cesar Azpilicueta tells other Premier League teams how to beat Manchester City.